不過係將啲 tutorial 嘅 exercise 咧炒埋一碟就變成我哋嗰個 group project。Okay, so that's something I just want to tell you. And the other things that we have to start is this chapter, network security, and this chapter would be something different from your previous network infrastructure that you learned about the TCP/IP settings. So when it comes to this chapter, we are going to learn about the cryptography. And we will learn something about the integrity of authentication as well as how we can secure the TCP using the SSL, something like this. So that's something we are going to learn for tonight. And when it comes to the network security, we are talking about the confidentiality, which is something about how we can secure the content of the message when you send something to the recipients. So of course, the obvious solution would be encryption, 加密技術。咁你要留意，今日我哋呢課書開始咧，就唔再探討網絡上面嘅嘢㗎啦，反而探討就係網絡上面安全嘅問題。咁裏邊嘅內容同之前講嘅就唔同晒㗎啦。咁我呢度開始啱同大家講就係有關我個資料嘅保密性啦。咁當然當中大家要學識嘅就係呢個英文字 encryption 就係解加密 ，decryption 就係解密。So another terms that you need to learn is the authentication, which is about login, how to ensure that you are the real person to be authenticated to the system. 咁呢一度另一樣要大家認識嘅就係即係認證登入認證嗰個問題。So we have some other issues that you need to learn, which is the message integrity. So we have to ensure that the content of the message will not be changed, and which is very important. And the last one would be the access issues, accessibility issues, as well as the availability issues, So this is something that we are going to cover for tonight. So let's take a look. So here we have the term bad guy, or we will use another word we call the hacker. So as you all know that when we have the computer network, there is someone that behave badly. They may want to eavesdrop, which means that they want to intercept the message that we are sending and receiving. We call this process as eavesdropping. 竊聽。咁喺呢度所講嘅 bad guy 其實即係代表黑客啦。Some other hacker may consider manipulating the information or insert the messages into the connection, which means that they try to change the content of the data packet so it can be easily do the insertion using certain software nowadays. 咁你要留意咧，其實如果你話要更改網絡上面啲資料嘅話，其實唔係難，只要你用啱工具。So we have another attack which is related to impersonation, which means that the hacker may pretend, or we may use the term spoof, to be another computer like teacher computer, so that it look like the teacher connecting to somewhere. 咁 impersonation 就係話扮另一個人啦。咁呢度所講係扮另一部電腦，比如話可以扮老師部電腦啦，睇落去好似係老師做緊一啲嘢。 So we have another attack we call the hijacking, which means that the hacker try to take over the connection. Usually the victims are the user that make use of the wireless connection and they accidentally connect to the hacker computer because of the Wi-Fi. 咁啊，呢個 hijacking 嚟講，通常幾時會發生咧？就係當一啲嘅黑客咧搶咗條連線，幾時會發生？就係當我個使用者中咗招啦，連錯線啦，連咗去個黑客嗰部電腦先上網。咁呢種咁嘅做法為之 hijacking。So we have the last one. The last one is denial of service. It always happens when there are quite a lot of network connecting to a server or any computer, and then the service there is suspended. And I don't know whether you know about a recent news, which is the Smart Play app, okay, problem. 近排有一單新聞咧，就關於個康文署嗰個。So maybe we can take a look at this video and then so this the news from TVB, and maybe we can take a look at this one.
杯杯甜味未必啱你口味，告別傳統甜味，首選雀巢天元素，配方選用優質天然食材，精心調製。
全新智能康體服務預訂資訊系統 Smart Play 康體通啟用，但因為未能經智方便啟動帳戶，未能即時成功登入系統。市民到康體通嘅網站可以查閱各項康體設施嘅預約情況，揀選設施之後可以按早午晚時段查閱，選擇時段之後要登入系統預約。新系統亦都能夠查閱已經取消同埋釋放返去系統嘅場次，亦都可以查閱抽籤結果等。新系統容許1萬人同時登入預訂。康文署提醒所有人士必須登記同埋完成認證，先可以登入新系統，報名參加活動同租訂設施。原有 Leisure Link 嘅用戶亦都要重新登記。不過，我哋上晝10點幾曾經嘗試經智方便登記，喺進入 Smart Play 系統顯示需要授權個人資料頁面之後，就顯示系統將會喺上晝7點啟用，未能登入系統預約或者查閱。
Okay, so there's the news that about the service system, and so the reason is that if you hear the news or watch the news, it mentioned that the app can allow concurrent connection up to 10,000。頭先個 app 嚟講咧，就可以支援1萬人同時登入。But when your app is launched or the platform is launched, the actual connection is up to 200,000。咁知唔知道 app 一出咗市面之後，其實個使用者人數係上到20萬嘅，20萬啊！咁所以咧就呢個係一個好常見嘅例子咧，個服務多過龍咧，跟住 jam 咗個 service。咁呢啲都係一啲例子咧，就係關於 denial of service。So again, this kind of the concurrent connection which suspend the service is an obvious example of denial of service. But of course, denial of service can be handled by the hacker for other purpose. Okay, suppose that the hacker want to stop the service of any server, but in this case, I mean the Smart Play that I mentioned to you is just a normal situation。咁你要記住頭先剛才講個 smart play 咧，其實就唔係黑客入侵嘅，只不過係過多使用者連線先搞成咁。So let's take a look at the important concept, which is cryptography. So cryptography, which is about how we can send the data with encryption. So as we all know that if we send something without encryption, suppose I send you something secret, and it would be very easy for hacker to intercept and then listen to what I have sent to you. So therefore, encryptions try to scramble my information so that the hacker is unable to know what I have been sent。咁你要留意咧，encryption 其實就係將啲資料咧搞到亂糟糟，等啲黑客咧唔可以咁容易知道咧我 send 咩入去。So if you look at the examples below or the formula below, and I think I hope you understand what it is mentioned here. M stands for plain text, the original information. And at the end of encryption, which means your information is being encrypted using KA. KA we call the key. Okay, KA is the key that helps encrypt the information such that it becomes the ciphertext。嗱 K 咧係一條鎖匙，一條秘密鎖匙。咁呢條鎖匙咧就同我哋嗰個原先嘅資料咧進行所謂加密嘅過程。然之後咧出咗嚟我抽嘢咧，我哋稱之為一個加密嘅文字，英文叫 ciphertext。而呢個加密嘅過程就係你會見到原先嘅資料經過呢個 KA 呢個 function。And then we have this one. What does KB mean? KB means decryption. So when the encrypted information sent to Bob on the right-hand side, and then Bob will make use of the key, its own key, for decryption. And if we represent everything by means of mathematics, and then we put M into the function KA, and then we make use of function KB to reverse the information back to the original information. We have two popular encryption. Okay. We have two popular encryption methods. The first one is symmetric key cryptography. And we have the second one, which is the asymmetric key cryptography. Okay. So what is the difference between these two types of cryptography? So the first one use one single key, okay, for encryption and decryption. And this one use two keys, or we may say a pair of key, okay, for encryption. Usually we call the encryption using the public key, and for the decryption we call it as private key. So it's okay. So this so if you look at the diagram there, Alice sends something to Bob using the same key. You can see KS there. Okay, using the same key, something like this. So an obvious example for this one, okay? We have two types of the encryption technique. So one obvious example is what we call the substitution. In the past, we have a very popular encryption technique we call the SEHS cipher. Maybe we can try a little bit. Okay, can you try this one? Okay, can you go to Google and try the online Caesar cipher? Okay, can you do me a favor, searching online Caesar cipher through the search engine, and then you can find the first result. So this is an example of the symmetric key cryptography. 咁我哋一齊試一試上網玩下呢一個嘅symmetric key cryptography 嘅例子嚇。咁大家可以咧 search online Caesar cipher， 中文 Caesar 嘅意思即係凱撒。凱撒 ，OK， 羅馬發明嘅加密技術嚇。咁呢種咁嘅加密技術稱之為一種叫做取代法嘅技術。咁啊，大家去咗嘅話咧，可以上去呢一個網站啦。OK， so you can go to this Cryptsty website, and this Cryptsty website allows you to do the symmetric key cryptography, or you may say the Caesar cipher there. Okay, suppose I input Apple, and then I put this number as 3 there. 3. Can you type me 3 there? So what does that mean? So if you type Apple on the left-hand side, and then at the end of 3 there, and you will have to see a cipher text like this. So you may notice that Apple, okay, at the end of the encryption will become DSSOT. So this is an obvious example, or the simplest example of symmetric key cryptography. We try to change the original message Apple into another item, which is the SSOT. And the secret, or you may say the key, would be number 3. You should not tell anyone the number, because this is the secret. 嗱喺呢個例子嚟講咧，凱撒嘅加密技術咧係最普通嘅一種技巧。咁呢個 symmetric key 呢個加密技術嚟講咧，最重要有一個特別嘅鎖匙。咁呢個例子嚟講，條鎖匙就係個數目字3。咁呢個數目字3係唔可以話俾任何人聽嘅，因為當佢知道係3嘅話咧，咁就如果係3嘅話咧，咁啲人就會知道點樣去解密㗎啦。明唔明個意思嚇？咁當我哋透過呢個3呢個秘密鎖匙咧，就可以將原先 Apple 咧，就將佢翻譯成另一樣嘢咧，咁嗰個黑客就唔明白。有冇問題 ？OK 嚇？咁梗係會估到啦！我而家教你最簡單嗰啲啊，係咪？梗係一定估到啦！即係如果佢知你係咁樣代替嘅話，咁估26次就估到㗎啦，知唔知啊？ So you know, if the hacker know you are using Caesar cipher, and at the end of 26 trials, and the hacker must know what exactly the key is. So this is not that secure at all, you know. So we have some other interesting encryption we call transposition, but it seems that your notes didn't mention this. So therefore, I'm not going to tell you how to operate this one. Again, according to your notes, there's another interesting encryption technique. Okay, if you look at if you look at the slide there, sure, maybe if you look at the slide there, slide 7. Okay, slide 7 is also the example of the substitution cipher. Okay, but the key there would be the special substitution patterns. So you may notice that in your slide 7, they make use of a very special substitution pattern as the key, which means that A will be replaced by M, and then look at this, B, letter B will be replaced by N there. So this kind of approach is unlike my previous example, I mean the Caesar cipher. And the key there would be this kind of special pattern. If the pattern is understood by the hacker, and then this substitution cipher can be cracked. 咁你要留意咧，依版筆記裏邊嗰個技巧咧，就係用一個好特殊嘅 pattern 作為鎖匙。依抽嘢唔可以俾任何人知嘅，俾任何人知嘅話就可以破解到嘅，你明白 ？Okay, so you may notice that Bob, I love you, Alice. Okay, will become the cyber test like this. And it would be good if you have the exam questions like this, because it would be much easier compared to calculating the transmission delay. 考試考呢啲就正斗啊，知唔知啊？因為叫你計之前啲 transmission delay 都計死你啦，係嘛？計呢啲好計好多。So another obvious examples there would be the DS. Okay, so DES stands for Data Encryption Standard. Usually the symmetric key there would be 56 bits long, and the plain text would be 64 bits. So you may notice that the key there, we have certain calculation like this. So the number of key combination there would be 2 to the power 56. So I think our computer is unable to calculate, especially your calculator. But based on the number of bits, you can see the number of combination of key in this way. So the operation of DES is quite simple. Maybe I give you an example first. So let us do this together and see if we can understand what does that mean. So the first step, if we want to do the DES encryption, and we need to, that one is to turn A into ASCII code. Okay, into binary. That means you need to check the ASCII table. So here is the ASCII table that you need to check. So So look at the table there, the decimal number for A. Okay, A is 65. And according to sure, this should be this one. So you need to make it 8-bit. Okay, step 2. And what you need to do is to okay, step 2 is to perform the exclusive OR, okay, between the test, okay, and the DS key. So we have the A and this one. And we have the key there. So I hope you still remember what does that mean with the exclusive OR there. Suppose that we have two input which is the same and the output would be 0. If the two input are different and the output would be 1, and you can take a look, okay? Two input are same, 0. Two inputs are same, simple, different, 1. The same input 0, 0, and result is 0. Two inputs are different, 1, 0, 1, 0. And you can also double check whether this one can be converted back to decimal. So it seems that this one can be converted back to the decimal, which is 42. Of course, you can check whether this one is something, you know, something that can be seen on the screen. And step 3, okay, if you can convert the decimal, okay, the ASCII code, okay, back to the character, you know. So sometimes you may not be able to find the corresponding symbol, you know. But in this example, you can do this. Suppose we have the original information A, and then we try to encrypt this one with the key. And we perform the exclusive OR. Of course, this letter A, you need to find the ASCII code and the corresponding binary code. And then we do the exclusive OR together, and we have this one. This binary will become 42 according to the table on the right-hand side. And there should be star. At the end of the encryption, it should be something like this. Maybe it's your turn. I'll give you 5 minutes to practice. Okay, maybe just simply use this one. So it's your turn to do this, to practice yourself. Okay, 5 minutes. So anyone who didn't collect the midterm test paper last week, you can come out and collect the test paper. 未攞卷嘅，上個禮拜未攞卷嘅同學出嚟攞翻卷啦嚇。5分鐘試一試，睇下識唔識做個 DES 啊？咁我再傳多次啦，貼做字眼，睇下同學仔睇佢清楚，未簽先發。 Okay, so make sure that you know how to do this kind of the encryption using exclusive OR. Sometimes we may come up with some result, which is a number that belongs to something cannot be seen on screen, and therefore it doesn't matter. 嗱，即使今日我哋呢度係咪28啊？我冇記錯，啱啊，OK，唔緊要嘅，呢度去唔到下一步冇所謂嘅，至少呢個步驟啱就 OK 嘅，明唔明？38，點解為28嘅？啊係喎，黐咗線，頭先唔好意思啊。Okay, this one 1、2、4、8、12。Okay, it should be 38. Okay, so I 38. Okay, and okay, and it would be fine. And the cipher test, okay, would be this one. Okay, bingo. So at least we can convert something M, okay, at the end of the DS encryption, and we come up with this one. So again, I would like to remind you is that if you have this cyber task on hand, and then you make use of the key, the same key, to perform the DES again, and then we will have the original task. So it's an example of symmetric encryption using the same key for encryption or decryption. Okay, so I just want to remind you is that this one, okay, can be decrypted, okay, using the same DES key, which is so remember in symmetric encryption, we have this kind of behavior. You can use the key for encryption as well as decryption. And you have already learned how to use the DSE for encryption data. And we have some commercial solution we call free DES. Free DES. So what does that mean? That means we try to use 3 different DES keys to perform DES 3 times so that it look like more secure. 市面上咧有一種嘅加密技術就叫 Free DES 嘅，只不過係用3把唔同嘅 DES 嘅鎖匙啦，就進行3次嘅加密，咁就睇落去安全啲咯。明白？係。Okay, let's move on. So here is the diagram. Okay, I have already explained to you. Okay, if you look at the diagram, you don't know what it is. Okay, just skip this one. I don't think that this one would be important in your coming examination. 考試斷估唔會叫你畫呢張圖嘅，睇呢張圖都唔知噏乜啦，係嘛？我都唔知噏乜啦。Okay, let's move on. So the commercial solution would be AES. Actually, AES have certain feature which is much better than DES because the key length is much longer. The minimum length is 128, and the maximum length is 225. The longer the number of bits, and the more secure, the longer time to crack. So I want to clarify a little bit. There will not be any algorithm that is perfect, okay, unbreakable, 嗱，你要記住，呢個世界邊度有可能冇一樣嘢係冇可能破解嘅，大佬。即係唔好諗，我哋而家學呢啲咁嘅技巧係永遠無敵嘅，大佬。你睇卡通片都知啦，唔明就去睇咒術啦，係咪？係啦，咁啊，即係每一樣嘢都有嘢會被克制㗎嘛，係咪先？係啦，啊，咁啊，所以嚟講咧，你要記住咧，依度咧，我哋其實只不過係用長啲嘅鎖匙咧，希望咧令到咧被破解嘅時間係可以加長，總會有一日會俾人破解到。問題係話你要俾佢用多啲時間去破解，唔好咁快破解到。明唔明白個意思？所以嚇係啊係啊係啊，越嚟越長，時間越嚟越長啊！即係唔俾你再 set 哦，係啊，會啊，係啊係啊，我啲就係 grace period 嘅一種做法咯。係呢個係另一個講法。OK。咁啊，如果你話login 3次，跟住 lock 咗你個 account 啊，第一段時間再俾你登入，嗰啲就係另一種手段嚟嘅，係啦。咁嗰啲都係一種方法，可以令到你係難去試嘅嚇。咁但係如果冇咗呢種 grace period 嘅機制，即係所謂 lock out 呢種咁嘅技巧咧，咁純粹任你試嘅話咧，你因為個 combination 太多嘅話咧，你呢度會見到用好多時間去破解。I just want to share with you is that, okay, this one AES is usually used in our Wi-Fi. Take a look. So I don't know whether you are responsible to configure your wireless router at home. If you look at your wireless router at home and you need to define your own password, Wi-Fi password, and look at this screen, even though this one is not the same as your home router, but when you choose the wireless encryption, you must choose something like this, AES, you know. So this is one of the application of the symmetric data encryption that we always use at home or nowadays. 其實 AES 呢一樣嘢咧，係我哋今時今日成日都會用嚇，即呢一樣嘢就係 symmetric encryption 嚟嚇，而我哋用緊嘅 WiFi 基本上已經就係用緊呢樣嘢嚇，所以你話 WiFi 密碼會俾人破解，梗係會啦，明唔明個意思？係一定會嚇，問題係幾時啊？嚇。So the trick is making the password longer, and then it will be difficult to crack, you know. And let's move on. So we have another encryption that you are going to learn. This one is public key cryptography. In the beginning, I mentioned to you we have two encryption methods. The first one is this one, symmetry. And then we have another one, okay? We call this one as asymmetry. Okay, I'm now talking about this one, okay? We have another name. Okay, this one is another name, asymmetric encryption. This one is also the commercial solution. Commercial solution, okay? This one is slide 11. So which means that we need to use two keys because using one single key is not that secure at all, you know. 頭先嗰個方法咧，用一條鎖匙咧，都唔係好穩陣嘅，係嘛？所以呢度咧開始學咧就用兩條鎖匙。咁啊，呢兩條鎖匙係一 pair 過㗎，一條就 public key 即係公家匙，係人都可以攞。另一條私家匙就私夥嘢，唔可以公開。一般嚟講咧，條公家匙係攞嚟加密嘅，私家匙係攞嚟解。So you can take a look. And if we look at Bob has a pair of keys. One is KB plus. This one is public key, and we have another key, KB minus, and this one is private key. Again, public means anyone can use it. Public 嘅意思即係公家事，係人都可以攞嚟用。用嚟做咩咧？Okay, encryption. The public key is usually used for encryption. And Bob will use the private key to decrypt. 有冇問題？同頭先個情況唔同啊！頭先我哋係加密解密都係同一條鎖匙，而家解密咧就要係對應另一條鎖匙，一條加，一條減，調翻轉都得嘅。So it's reversible, which means that Bob can use this private key to encrypt and then send back to Alice. Alice can use this private key to decrypt. 嗱，你要記住啊，依個圖嚟講咧，我哋係用條公家匙加密，用條私家匙解密，但係其實個情況可以調翻轉嘅。阿 Bob 可以用這條私家匙加密，阿 Alice 可以用翻條公家匙解嘅。Okay, so remember this diagram is one of the example using private key for encryption and private key for decryption, but the direction can be reversed, which means that Bob can encrypt using private key, whereas Alice can use the private key for decrypting the message, you know. But you cannot using the same key for encryption or decryption. 你唔可以用呢條公家匙又加密又解密㗎嚇，明唔明啊？即係你 private key 加密咗就唔可以 private key 解嘅，解就一定要用呢個解，明唔明個意思？係啦，咁例如 private key 加咗密，咁 private key 就唔可以即刻解，一定要用翻另一條公家匙先解咗嚇。Okay, let's take a look. So this is the relationship. We have one key plus means public, minus means private. If you use the public key to encrypt your message, become the ciphertext, and then you use the private key for decryption. Okay, and the commercial solution we call the RSA. 市面上嘅 solution 就係 RSA. So this algorithm was developed by 3 persons. The first one is Reres, second one is Shamar, and the last one is Alderson. So they developed the algorithm together, and for today, you need to learn what it is. I don't know whether your final examination will ask you this calculation, but I will tell you how to do this, you know. To be honest, this chapter actually is one of the chapter of another course, which is this one. Actually, I'm teaching year 2 students this subject, computer security. Actually, the notes, the content of today's chapter are part of this course. So therefore, you may notice that I'm quite familiarized with the content as well as all the calculation. And in your coming year 2, you are required to study this subject again. 咁我其實有一科咧，而家教緊2年班嘅就係呢一科咯。今日你哋所學嘅所有嘢，全部都係我呢科裏邊啲內容嚟嘅。咁所以你會見我成堆數學俾你睇，因為我只不過係將呢度啲內容講一次俾你聽。咁下年有機會再見啦。OK， 加油啊！加油，好，身體加油。OK， 係。好啦，咁我哋再睇一睇。So tonight, okay, let's take a look at this algorithm. So this is the algorithm proposed by RSA, how to generate the public key and private key. Maybe I showed you the questions. Okay. Here is the examples of the questions if you are required to do this calculation in your examination. So what would be the questions look like? So usually given the P, let me think about some numbers. We gotta change a little bit, something like this. Okay, so let me show you the tricks of doing this questions. Actually, when you look at my step there, and you will know what's the meaning of the step, the 5 step on the right hand side. Okay, step 1. Okay, calculate n, which is equals to p times q. Okay, and the answer should be this one. So this is the first step of RSA. So I'm now showing you the examples of RSA, and you will do it again yourself about these kind of questions. And then you need to step 2 there, you need to find f, which is equals to this one. So you just put the number into the formula and you will know the result. Step 3. So according to the notes there, you need to choose E, where E is less than N, but in my questions, I give you this one, so that you can easily know the corresponding private key D. So in this kind of calculation, there are a number of symbols, P, Q, E, D, and F. And then so this one is the most tricky. So you need to find a value D such that E times D modulus 1 modulus F, which is equals to 1. Let me put the number there. E is 11 times D modulus 120 equals 1. Do you know what's the meaning of this one? 11 times D, and then modulus means final remainder. Do you know any number divided by 120? The remainder is 1。有冇同學知道有咩比120除個餘數係1㗎？121。Okay. So do you understand what I mean? But apart from 121, you may also consider some other number. 241. Okay. 361. Okay. 481. We have so many numbers that divided by 120 and the remainder would be 1. And what I can suggest you is choose the smallest, okay, a number, which is 121. So if you choose 121, that means 11 times d, which is 121. Okay, because if you look at the formula there and you suppose 121 modulus 120, the remainder would be 1, and you pick up this one rather than this big number, and 121 would be something like this. Some students may not fully understand how we can turn this one, okay? So if we take a look at this from mathematics, and then we can represent something like this. And the answer would be for office 11. But this is not the end. You cannot get full mark. You need to write this.咁啊，記住寫埋呢句先攞滿分㗎嚇，得唔得？Okay, it's your turn. Okay, let's have a break of the 10 minutes, and then you do this calculation now, making sure that you know how to find the. Okay, this time you need to find me the proper key given P, Q, D there. Okay, 10 minutes break, 10分鐘休息時間，計埋呢條數去，識計就攞滿分。So I don't know whether there will be exam questions asking you this, but as far as I know what it is, I will tell you. 咪望一望先，我都要望一望睇下依。 Okay, let's take a look. So if you look at your group here, 103, this one, computer network administration, and as we all know that I have a link about the supplementary notes for you, and I have already add some more information over there, which is the tutorial solution. And if you click the link from the blackboard, and you may see there's a folder there, I have put all the solution to the exercise as well as the PKT files to you. If you cannot understand the solution PDF, and you may open the PKT directly to run the network and see the result. And some students came to me about the group project. To be honest, if the staff size is just 20s, 30s or something, and I believe that it would be very simple. But the situation is a little bit complicated because there are about 1,000 of staff divided into 4 departments, and then you may need to think a little bit how to configure the network. Of course, theoretically, it's quite simple. We have one internet connection, and then we have router, and then we have the switch. Okay, to have the VLAN, something like this, into different departments, as well as separating the network into something for the, I mean the true IP, the real IP for the server, and we have another network for the guest network, something like this. But is there any hidden agenda behind the group project? I'm not too sure because I don't have answer on hand. I don't have answer on hand at the moment, and I also asked the answer from other teacher, and they told me that they don't have the answer at all. You know, there's no exact answer for this assignment 2. I think the reason is that because you need to make your own assumption about the background here. This one is something you need to tell. So what would be the industry for your network? Is it insurance industry or some other industry that you want to plan for the network? There are certain assumptions. Suppose you assume that the industry is insurance company and is labor intense company, and there are quite a lot of insurance agents, you know. But when it comes to some other industry like the university, there are quite a lot of students, and you need to think about what would be the biggest proportion of user in the organization, and then you need to allocate the network and the IP address for this kind of people. For example, in the campus here, we have our teacher staff network. We have student network, that the two networks are separated. We are not allowed to connect to each other. 你要記住喺學校嚟講咧，好似呢個 building 咁咧，個 domain 係將你哋學生同職員老師係完全分隔開。即使我哋個 IP 係一樣嘅話咧，我哋基本上都冇辦法可以即係睇到對方嚇。當然啦，喺呢個課室裏邊就大家係啲電腦嘅層面嚟講，佢哋係 same IP、same subnet。但喺 domain 嚟講咧，你哋同學仔係有自己 student domain，我哋有自己個 staff domain 嚇。 係另一個層面，唔係醫科講。domain 呢個 concept 係另一樣嘢嚟，呢個科目完全冇提到嚇。咁咁同我講就話，你哋依個要幾時交啊？28號啊嚇。我問其他老師先啊啊，咁睇下其他老師個意見嚇。咁如果不過你都要繼續做住先啦嚇，繼續做住先。如果有進一步嘅資料嘅話，我 make 個 announcement 俾同學仔啦。因為今日見你之後，以下個禮拜仲可以見一見咯。啊，不過就呢一日已經要交啦。啊，呢一日要交嚇。OK。照睇就其實係啦，照睇就好似好簡單嘅一個 group assignment，但係裏邊有冇啲 hidden agenda 我就唔係太敢講。OK，anyway， remember to do the tutorial exercise and making sure that you know how to do this kind of exercise yourself, you know. And for example, the distant vector routing, something like this, is something I mentioned to you before. So this is the way the router is operating, choosing the path to the destination. Suppose we have so many routers on hand, and this lab is about setting up a number of routers together as a group. I hope you still remember what I have mentioned to you before in the previous chapter. But if you ask me whether the routers there or the tutorials there are useful to your group project, it really depends. If you have so many internet line for your organization, maybe you need multiple router, you know. But if you don't have so many internet line or you just have one, I think only one router is sufficient. 咁其實都好睇同學仔中意落 router 定落 switch 咯嚇。咁就嚇，如果你有多過一條嘅寬頻線出街嘅話，可能都要多幾隻嘅 router 嚇。咁如果你話咩 simple，好似當喺屋企嗰種連線嘅一條寬頻線加隻 router，咁後面砌啲 switch 都係一個 solution 嚟嚇，得唔得？Okay, anyway, so let's take a look at this one. Let me show you the answer first. This one is 7th time turn T there. We have 140 and then we have F there and P minus 1, Q minus 1. And then we have 6 times 19. And then what you need to guess is about this one. And we have the D equals 23 times E modulus 114. Okay, and it should be something like this, equals 115. And E equals 115 divided by 23, and it should be 5 there. And therefore, okay, private key, which is equals to this one, and 140 and turn T. Sorry, 23 there. And this one is 5. And it's the proper key. So it's what we call the key pair. So is it okay? So I hope that you can manage this kind of calculation at the moment. And let me move on. Again, it's not that difficult as long as you know the mechanism of calculation. And the key there is able to protect our message from intercept, But if the private key and the public keys are the same, and then the protection will be very weak. If you look at my example there, both private key and public key are the same, and it's not that good at all. So another formula that you need to remember is the way that you do the encryption. So can you do me a favor? Suppose we have the paint test m equals 2, okay, and either public key e equals 5, okay, and n according to the notes there is 140, and then what is the cipher test C. So maybe you can spend some time to try calculating the value of C like this using the formula on the right hand side there. 幫我試一試計好嗎? And C should be equals to, just put the numbers in the formula. 5 modulus 140. And of course, C equals this one. And if a small number is divided by a big number, and the answer is quite obvious. 有冇同學唔清楚個計法㗎？呢都要知喎，係啦。咁呢個咧就係加密。So this formula is used for encryption. So when it comes to decryption, you put the D there, the key D there, the same formula. You put cipher here, and then do the reverse calculation, and you can get back the original message like this. And let me do something right here because I received the link, and I'm for sure that you also need to do this questionnaire as well. Okay. 好啊，咁啊，同學咧，如果你 reload 翻頭先嗰個103嗰個畫面嘅話咧，咁你會見到咧，依度咧就有個網址咧，就要做一做問卷嘅，係啦，咁啊，麻煩同學幫忙啦，OK 啊，咁啊好簡單啊，填個滿分就 OK 啦，係啦，咁啊幫忙填一填呢個啦，OK，咁就依一科，咁我諗其他老師佢哋都會有條 link 俾大家填一填問卷，係啦。係啦，得唔得？係啦，好冇？咁就幫我填一填啦，OK。咁裏邊我記得好似有條問題就話啊，上堂用英文定中文啊？咁啊，同學就記住填翻英文，係啦。喺103嗰度就有個 link 啦，咁同學仔咧可以幫手咧就填一填個問卷先。咁啊，同學問呢個問題咧，究竟個 midterm test 嗰個平均數係幾多啊？咁大家可以望一望下。隔離班咧，我教嘅隔離班咧，我有教另一班嘅，咁佢哋個平均分就低啲嘅，但係佢哋滿分係100分嘅，有人。其實你見過平均分差唔多就大家都係差唔多。其他班嗰啲有啲都好高分，90幾啊，都幾恐怖。講真，我入去下都未必攞到咁嘅分數。唔好理咁多嚇，最重要都係做問卷先。OK，咁啊拜託同學嚇，OK ，OK，咁啊係啦，唔使諗咁多㗎啦嚇，OK，咁就係啦。Okay, let's move on. Okay, remember this formula. Okay, this one must be remembered or you write it down in your, the reference paper in your examination. And here is some of the examples in the notes, and I'm for sure that you have already learned this, you know. And why RSA is secure? And again, there are a pair of keys, and it's quite difficult for the hacker to know this pair of keys. And remember, this one must be kept secret, and this one is open to anyone. And this RSA, together with the public key cryptography concept, is being used every day. Whenever we log on to the system, e-banking, school network, and we always use this from time to time. How come? Because the public key cryptography always used in HTTPS. That means whenever we visit a website begins with the HTTPS there, this one, and then everything are encrypted using the public key cryptography. Whenever you submit something, you upload something, you send something, you use the public key of the server to encrypt the data. And then the server will decrypt using the private key. 其實咧，我哋日常生活裏邊咧，逢係一登入呢啲嘅網站咧，有把鎖啲網站咧，其實已經係用緊呢一個技巧㗎，用緊呢個加密技術。我哋會用條公家時去加密我哋嘅資料，跟住提交俾 server。server 就會用佢條私家時去解密我哋頭先 send 嘅嘢咯。咁所以咧，呢一個咧就常見嘅。And I also want to emphasize a concept which is the session key. Session key. So what does that mean? So whenever we log on to the system, the server will establish a sessions for us. And then we will have a session ID. And the session ID usually become the key for data encryption。咁首先我想同大家解釋一樣嘢，每當我哋登入一個系統平台嘅時候咧，咁個伺服器會幫我哋建立一個 session 啦。咁我哋都會有個 session ID 呢樣嘢。咁有 session ID 有 session 嘅話咧，呢個 session ID 咧往往變成所謂 session key，就用嚟加密資料。咁呢個 session key 用嚟加密咩嘢咧？通常就係加密我哋啲 data。Okay? So let me clarify a little bit. Okay? So when we log in, okay, website, okay, for example, okay, session is created. Okay, with session ID. Okay, the session ID will be the session key. Okay, for symmetric data encryption. Okay, and the public key, okay, will be obtained from the SSL certificate. Okay, because we connect this one. So the public key actually is used to encrypt the session key. So in other words, okay, symmetric encryption, session key, okay, is used to encrypt data. Whereas the asymmetric encryption I mean the public key is used to protect, or you may say encrypt the session key. So which means that we are using the symmetric and asymmetric encryption from time to time, every day. 咁你要留意咧，我哋其實每一日咧都用緊呢兩種加密技術嘅。登入就有個 session key、session ID 咧，就係負責加密啲 data。咁至於嗰個 public key 就由張證書攞到係手。我哋去一個網站個 browser 攞到張證書落嚟，網站證書，張網站證書係會有我條鎖匙喺度。咁呢條咁嘅鎖匙喺張證書攞到手之後，就可以攞嚟加密。加密咩咧？就唔係加入 data 嘅。咁啊，加密咧個 session key 嘅，係。咁你要留意咧，就係話咧個 symmetric 嗰個 encryption 咧個 algorithm 嗰個 calculation。咁其實頭先同學仔都試過啦，個 symmetric 嘅 encryption 好鬼淺啫嘛，好容易噶嘛，係嘛？asymmetric 嗰啲好複雜噶嘛，咁所以咧，我哋點解要咁樣用咧？咁嘅做法就係因為 symmetric 會快啲咯，asymmetric 會慢啲咯。So again, if you ask me why we have this kind of arrangement, using symmetric encryption for data, asymmetric encryption for session key, because the speed for the calculation of symmetric encryption is much faster than asymmetric. So therefore, we consider the arrangement in this way. So that's the end of the cryptography in this chapter. And then we have the authentication. So how we can ensure the authentication? Actually, we make use of the user ID and password as the way that we authenticate typically. 咁我哋平時咧，我哋去做一個嘅登入嘅話，通常都會用 ID 啊同埋 password 咯，呢個係最常見嘅方法。But another issue is that how we can ensure the information that we send and receive is not modified by the hacker。有一樣嘢咧，我哋咧就要喺呢度咧開始去認識嘅，就係話所謂電子簽章。咁電子簽章其實呢個概念係咩咧？就係話咧，我哋平時 send 啲資料出去嘅時候，究竟有冇人篡改過咧？有冇人更改過咧？我哋點樣去保障呢啲嘢咧？咁我哋可以去認識咧，就係所謂digital signature 呢樣嘢，電子簽章。So the digital signature actually is the way that protect the content of our information. I mean the message, for example, Alice sent something to Bob. How we can ensure that the content is not modified by the hacker? So we can add the digital signature to your message, so that the digital signature is the way that ensure the information is not changed, is not modified. How we can do this? Maybe I can explain to you a little bit. 咁呢個電子簽章係點樣產生嘅咧？咁我哋好簡單去睇一睇啊。OK， 咁你會見到咧就 slide 22啦。OK。呢個係個 digital signature。Okay, and you can see the Bob message. So the Bob message that to Alice is that oh, how I have missed you. I think of you all the time, blah, 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 something like this. And how we can ensure that the content is not modified. And so the first step, okay, we have the original message from Bob. So what we need to do is to do the hashing. Okay. So actually hashing is a kind of mathematics. So the example is the chat digit of Hong Kong ID. So our Hong Kong ID number having the chat digit, which is the result of hashing, which means that the chat digit actually is the calculation of the hashing of our Hong Kong ID number. Okay, for example, we may have okay, I just brainstorm something. Okay, we do certain hashing of our ID card, say A12345 6, and then we come up with the chat digit, something like this. So hashing is something like this. And then we have step two. And for the step two there, we do the encryption on the so at the end of the hashing, we try to encrypt, okay, the hashing result. And then this one actually is the digital signature. So that's the way we generate the digital signature like this. 個電子簽章點產生嘅咧？第一步咧，我哋會進行一個 hashing，然之後 hash 咗堆嘢啦，嚇有堆嘢啦。咁呢堆嘢咧，我哋就再加密。咁呢一樣嘢咧，我哋就為之係一個嘅電子簽章嚇。其實個概念大致係咁樣樣。So actually, we have a name describing the result of hashing. So suppose we do the hashing on Bob message, and the resulting output we call the message address. So our commercial hashing functions are the MD5 or the SHA. This is the commercial solution that people are using nowadays. Okay, you can try this. Okay, MD5 online. Can you try this? Okay, can you search for this one, MD5 online? You can go to the MD5 hash generator and try the hashing features. Okay, suppose I input something, say hello world. Hello world. Okay, can you see? I'm typing the hello world there, and I click this button to do the hashing directly. And I have the results there. So MD5 of the hello world. And then I come up with something like this. So you can try this as well. And then I can try another one, Apple apple. And then let me try again. MD5 apple. And then I come up with another information. So if you compare the results there, this is what we call the message digest. Okay, all this we call the message digest. Okay. So I would like to remind you is that hashing is one way mathematical calculation. Okay. It is irreversible. Okay, for example, the thread digit. An obvious example is that the thread digits cannot be converted back to Hong Kong ID, you know. So the message digest actually is fixed length， 固定長度。Hashing 呢樣嘢咧係單向，冇得翻轉頭。正如你個 check digit 唔可以出翻你個 ID 卡一樣，個 message digest 係固定長度嚇。So let's get back to the digital signature there. Okay, fixed link. So maybe we take a look at this diagram as the last part for tonight. So suppose we have the original message there. We do the hashing, and then we have the message digest there. But this one is not a digital signature. We also need to do the encryption. How we can do the encryption? Because we are Bob. Bob only has private key. Okay, private key, we use the private key to encrypt the hash message digest, so that this encrypted message digest is the signature, digital signature of Bob, fingerprint. 你要記住啦，呢個電子簽章咧一定係先做咗 hashing， 再加密。咁呢度嚟講咧，阿 Bob 就會用自己條私家匙去加密嘅。So what will happen to Alice? How she can verify the signature as well as double check the message? Suppose I have the digital signature. Okay, I will send my digital signature together with the original message to Alice. 嗱，當我產生咗呢個電子簽章咧，我會連同之前我封信、原先封信加埋呢個電子簽章俾晒阿 Alice 嘅。咁啊 Alice 收到呢個電子簽章同埋原先封信咧，會進行比較。點比較咧？咁啊 Alice 咧，佢會將之前呢個電子簽章做一次解密嘅 decrypt。咁啊 Alice 亦都會將呢封信啦，收到呢封信就進行 hash。好啦，阿 Alice 自己本身做嘅 hash 呢封信有一個結果嘅。咁當個電子簽章解密，又會出翻咧之前阿 Bob 做嘅結果，就睇下係咪一樣。如果係一樣嘅話，阿 Alice 就會知道呢封信係真。而家所學嘅嘢係想 認證封信係真，得唔得？電子簽章係防止人哋篡改內容。So remember the digital signature right here is to protect, to ensure the content is valid without any changes. So again, when Alice received the digital signature and she would decrypt so that she can see the message digest. And as we all know that Alice also received the original message, and Alice's computer will do the hashing again, and the message will have another message digest. These two message digests are compared to see whether they are equals. If they are equals, that means the message is the real one, no hacker modify it, okay, and the content is true and correct. And again, how we can obtain the certificate from the browser. If you look at my notes over there, I mentioned to you there is a certificate. So where is this certificate come from? Actually, all the websites will apply the certificate from the certification authority. The company will pay for the certificate annually. And if you pay it, and the certificate authority will generate the certificate for your website so that anyone can get the certificate as well as the public key there for data encryption. 咁呢度留意呢張證書咧就俾錢嘅，俾年費嘅，俾一啲網上面嘅機構咧申請嘅。一間公司一個網站通常都會申請一張證書啦。視乎唔同嘅 server 啦，如果你多幾隻 server 嘅話，可能要申請多幾張證書俾唔同嘅 server 去用。有一張證書擺咗喺個 server，咁啲人咧就可以 download 張證書就攞條鎖匙嚟做加密，明唔明白？咁我哋今日講咗咁多先啦，好嘛？咁就嗱，同學仔咧翻去。